Hi everyone, welcome back to Venusianscorp Astrology and Tarot, where I talk about all things astrology and tarot. Today it's going to be the relationship reading for the month of August. So if you're in a relationship with someone or if you have someone in mind, this is for you. There's an image displayed on the screen. There's pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. You can select whichever resonates or all three if all three resonate with you, and go to the timestamp and listen to the reading accordingly. Also, I wanted to let you know that I'm doing natal chart readings. I do relationship chart compatibility, relationship compatibility, which is also called Synastry compatibility, and I also do tarot readings as well, and I do counseling sessions as well. So if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can drop me a message on email. The link is in the description box below, and I'll get back to you soon. So let's get started. So pile 1, let's start with your reading first. Okay, so pile 1, this is your reading. Let's see the first card that I'm getting for you. The very first card I'm getting is the Wheel of Fortune. So things are definitely turning around for you for the better in your relationship. This could be someone who is a Taurus, a Scorpio, Aquarius, or a Leo. Doesn't have to be a sun sign in these signs. They could just have a lot of strong energy in any of these zodiac signs, or they could have a lot of planets in these signs, or they could just embody the archetype of these energies. But I feel like there's something that's really shifting for the better in your relationship. Now, this is slow moving energy because Wheel of Fortune is not a very fast moving energy. Yes, it indicates abundance, and yes, it indicates good things coming your way, but it generally happens on a slower basis than what you would imagine. So be prepared for that. A lot of good things are shifting in the relationship, things are moving for the better. Now, the next card I'm getting is the Page of Cups. Yeah. So I feel like maybe both of you were on a break for a while. You were not in contact, or maybe there was just a bit of a distance between both of you for some time. And I feel like either you or the other person, I get a feeling like it's the other person who's going to reach out to you pretty soon. Page of Cups, it's about emotions, and they may reach out to you with a heartfelt message. I don't think it's going to be anything grand because this is the page energy, so it's not going to be a grand gesture on their part, but I feel like they're going to reach out with a small message or a call or something like that. But they're definitely going to initiate contact with you and just start opening up the lines of communication. I feel like that's on the cards for sure. So definitely no contact is being broken very soon. Two of wands is what I'm getting in the next card. So two of wands is about looking at your options out there. It's almost looking at the world as having so many possibilities in front of you. There's a lot of hope with this card. It's a fiery energy. It's wands, and it's about thinking of the world as your oyster. So there's a lot of options out there for you. Now, you may not be, I get a feeling this is you, pile 1. I feel like you, even though this person is reaching out to you, I feel like you are in a place where you realize that you may deserve more, or like you just have a lot of options in front of you and there's a lot of people who are interested in you. So you may not be that interested in getting back with this person per se, but they are definitely reaching out to you with a message. That's what I'm seeing here. um or the other interpretation could be that you have hope in the relationship and you definitely want to rekindle with this person and you want to make things better in your relationship. I'm also seeing the Seven of Wands. Now, this is disruptive energy. This is almost like having to always defend your ground, always having to defend your territory. People always trying to get at you. I feel like in your relationship, the current one that you're in, maybe you always have had to defend yourself. Maybe you've always had to walk around eggshells with this person. Like nothing you ever say or do is enough for them, or you feel like they're always trying to blame you for things or make it seem like it's your fault all the time, and you always have to defend yourself in an argument, and that's not in a very healthy place to be in a relationship. So maybe that's one of the reasons why this Two of Wands came up is, you're kind of fed up with all the fighting, or you always having to defend yourself in the relationship and always having to prove yourself that you are correct, like you're not doing anything wrong, or just having to defend your side of the argument all the time. And it's not a very peaceful relationship. That's what I'm sensing here. So I feel like a lot of you may be exploring your options or just realizing that, you know what, there's just too many people out there to be stuck in a relationship that's not really doing anything for you. Let's see what else we have here. I'm seeing the Hermit card. Okay, so the Hermit card, yeah, I feel like some of you may want to just isolate yourself. Like I said, you may want to completely continue with the no contact that's going on. Like, even though this other person is reaching out to you with an apology or just wanting to open up the lines of communication, a lot of you may not want to rekindle the relationship. Like I said, this two of wands showed up, and a lot of you may be feeling like you have a lot of options. Or the other way that this could go is, some of you may want to isolate yourself, some of you may want to just close off the relationship, not even wanting to date anymore, or just meet other people. I think some of you may just want to just close yourself off and do a little bit of self introspection or healing on your own, because I feel like this relationship has been a little bit jarring in the past because of the seven of wands. You always had to defend yourself, and you're not the kind of person who uh, doesn't have integrity. You have a lot of integrity, pile one. So when somebody keeps accusing you of doing wrong, or you always have to defend yourself, then that becomes a very unhealthy dynamic. And I feel like now you're kind of going inward, pile one. I feel like you're going inward and figuring out what is it that you want in a relationship. Do you even want to continue with this relationship? Is it really worth it? It's a very practical approach that you're taking now towards things, because it's a Virgo card. Virgo is about the details. It's a very practical sign. It's an earth sign at the end of the day, and it's ruled by Mercury. So a lot of you may be analyzing the relationship, every single detail. Why they said what they did. Why did they do a certain thing? Why did they say a certain thing? You're analyzing the details a lot, and you're going within, and you're figuring out whether you even want to go ahead with the relationship. Do you even want to continue? Things like that. What else do we have for pile one? I'm seeing the King of Wands. So this is again you coming into your own, pile one. I feel like a lot of you are figuring out that you deserve a lot more than what you're getting in this relationship. Like, it's just I feel like you're finally figuring out your worth. Not that you ever didn't know your worth, but I feel like now you're really seeing yourself for everything that you bring to the table. And I feel like a lot of you don't want to settle. You don't want to settle for something that's mediocre, something that doesn't bring you peace and joy, something that doesn't spark your uh, enthusiasm towards life. I feel like a lot of you just want to go for the bigger things. I feel like that's what's the reading is showing me, that the King of Wands is very self assured. It's a fiery energy, of course. It's a sign of Leo. There's a lot of transformation involved with this sign. There's a lot of metamorphosis with this sign. So a lot of you are going through this period of transformation, like the Hermit card and the King of Wands. It's definitely about facing your demons, so to speak, and also doing a lot of shedding of your old self. Like, it's like shedding snake skin. You shed your old self and you become a different version of yourself, a newer, fresher version of yourself. And that's the King of Wands, where you are very self-assured. You know what you want. You're not going to fight. Like, you're not going to argue with someone over it. These are just your new standards in a relationship. This is just what you expect from someone in a relationship, and you're not going to settle for anything that's below that. So you definitely know what you want, and I don't think what this other person is bringing to the table is enough for you right now, pile one. What else do we have for pile one? Let's see. We have the Emperor card. Again, a very self assured energy. This is Aries, of course, cardinal energy. It wants to initiate things, very good at things, very capable, very self assured, very confident. It's not in a very arrogant way. This is the higher octave of Aries energy. This is a true leader. So, a lot of you are really coming into your own, pile one. Not just in relationships, I think in life in general, a lot of you are figuring out what you want, like the bigger things that you want out of life. And I feel like you don't want to settle, especially in relationships. You don't want to settle. You want to go for the big things in life. So that's what I have for you, pile one. If you like this reading, definitely give it a thumbs up. Your likes help my videos stay relevant in the YouTube algorithm, and also help my channel stay relevant. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can definitely drop me a message on Facebook or email. I mean, not Facebook, but email. Facebook is not really active right now, but you can definitely drop me a message on email, and I'll get back to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Okay, pile two, this is your reading. Pile two, this is your reading now. So let's look at what's the first card that's coming for you. We are getting the Hanged Man. So you're kind of looking at the relationship from a new perspective now. You definitely are seeing things from either your partner's point of view, or you're just looking at it from a totally different perspective. What that is, I definitely want to do a clarification for that. So I'm seeing the Empress card. Yeah, so Empress is very Taurus energy. It's very Venusian. It's very feminine energy. It's very magnetizing. It's the opposite of masculine energy. It's not about going after what you want and trying to go and like putting in a lot of effort and getting things done. This is very Venusian energy. So this is about sitting back, relaxing, and letting what's yours come to you. You already know that it's yours. The Empress is very confident in herself. She just radiates that confidence, and she just draws what she wants to herself. It's very magnetizing energy. It's very powerful energy. And I feel like a lot of you, this change of perspective has to do with this. Like, I feel like in a relationship, you don't want to be the one always chasing your partner. Like, maybe in the past, you were the one always texting them or calling them or initiating contact. I feel like now you just want to sit back and let it be more organic. I feel like a lot of you are tired of doing the chasing or tired of being the one who always puts in all the work in the relationship. So I feel like a lot of you are just sitting back and seeing, waiting to see if the other person is going to come to you, or what the dynamic of the relationship is like when you actually just sit back and relax and lean into your feminine energy. Now, when I say feminine and masculine, I don't mean gender in any of my videos. I just mean the energies. So you could be born as a masculine person, but you may resonate with feminine energy. So then this is for you. Like, basically everybody has feminine masculine energies. It's about leaning into that and making it work for you. So I feel like in your relationship pile two, you want to stop putting in all the effort and you want to sit back and pull back your energy a little bit, if that makes sense. Like, pull back your energy a little bit and see what happens in the relationship. Does the other person start running after you? And it's not a game. I don't think you're trying to play a game when you're doing this. I feel like you're just wanting to balance things out a little bit, because I feel like in the past you were the one putting in all the effort in the relationship. What else do we have for pile two? We have the Four of Swords. Yeah, a lot of you are in strategy mode right now. Typically, in the suit of the tarot cards, the Four of Swords comes after the Four of Swords comes after the Three of Swords. And Three of Swords is about betrayal, heartbreak, being hurt in a relationship, especially romantic relationships. And the Four of Swords is a period of, going within yourself and figuring out what you want to do. This is a very strategic phase. This is ruled by logic. It's not about your feelings and emotions. So I don't think at this point of time you are making any decisions based on emotions. This is very logic oriented. You're being very strategic when you're deciding to go into the Empress mode. You are also not getting influenced by anybody around you, because the Four of Swords is about listening to your own gut and listening to your own instincts. It's not about getting swayed by outside opinion or what other people have to say. Like, you may have a circle of friends that want to tell you certain things and want to sway you in a certain direction, but I don't think you are listening to them. I think this is just about you and what you want. And I feel like a lot of you are strategizing in terms of what you want to do in terms of the next steps in the relationship. Like, this is very you're just reclining into your feminine energy. You're not really going out there and trying to make things happen. I'm also seeing the Three of Swords. So yeah, some of you may have gone through some kind of a heartbreak in a relationship. Maybe the other person was cheating on you, or they lied to you, or they did something that was very hurtful and betraying to you, that basically hurt your feelings, and you realize that you may have been the one putting in all the work in the relationship, while the other person really wasn't doing much, to be honest. And so now you want to just sort of nurse your wounds and just be more strategic in the relationship and figuring out what you want to do next. Like I said, you're also in the Empress energy, so this is you being very relaxed and calm. You're not trying to make things anything happen. You're not trying to make things happen. You're not trying to be overly masculine or aggressive and always chasing and trying to get their attention and things like that. You're just leaning into yourself more and figuring out what you want to do next, or what you want out of the relationship next. What else do we have for pile two? We have the Eight of Swords. So I feel like your partner, this is your partner, I don't think this is you. So they may be having some kind of self-limiting belief when it comes to relationships. Maybe they feel like, maybe they have a lot of negative self-talk going on when it comes to love or relationships, or being maybe they feel like they don't deserve to be in a relationship, or they just feel like unworthy of love, and a lot of negative self-talk is what I'm sensing in your partner. So because the thing is, the eight of swords, eight is a very transformative number. Even the eighth house is a scorpionic house, and it has to do with transformation and things like that. The eight of swords is a very interesting card, because if she were to just remove the blindfold, she would realize she can just remove the rope that's tying her up, and she could just walk out of the cage that she has around her. So the eight of swords is not something that's imposed by the outside world. It's something that they themselves have imposed on themselves. So eight of swords, the partner or the person that you're dealing with, they may have a lot of negative self-talk, and this is mostly things that they tell themselves on the daily basis, things that they believe about themselves, or things that they believe about relationships in general. And it's not a very positive space that they're in. They have a lot of limiting beliefs when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, and that has been reflecting in your relationship as well. So that's why there's a lot of betrayal going on, there's a lot of hurt and anxiety that you've been facing in the relationship. So I feel like the eight of swords is your partner. I don't think this is you, but because of their whatever they have going on in their life, this is affecting the relationship as well. I'm seeing the nine of pentacles, so some of you are becoming way more self-sufficient in the relationship. This is especially money energy, but I feel like this is more relationship oriented. So I feel like a lot of you're realizing that when it comes to your happiness and your own fulfillment in life or in love or in relationships, a lot of you are realizing that you need to fill your own cup first, metaphorically speaking. Like, you can't depend on another person to make you feel good or to make the relationship better. Of course, both of you have to put in the effort, but I feel like for the most part, a lot of you are realizing that you need to be in a good space first before the relationship can thrive, so a lot of you are putting in the effort into yourself. So you're trying to basically go inward and make your life more abundant, is what I'm sensing, rather than looking to the other person to do that for you. And so the nine of pentacles, yeah, it's a card of self-sufficiency. It's an energy of being very fulfilled in what you have, especially material possessions, because it's a pentacles energy. It has to do with money and finances. So a lot of you are focusing on that right now. What else do we have for pile two? Oh, I'm seeing the high priestess. So this is very spiritual energy. A lot of you are, tapped into your inner knowing, because the high priestess, she doesn't really. Again, it's a very feminine energy. Two feminine energy cards have shown up in this reading: the Empress and the High Priestess, and both of these are about not really doing anything, but just magnetizing what you want towards you. And I think that's extremely powerful, because when you look at the high priestess energy, this is spiritual knowing. She's very, very clued into the spiritual realm. She knows how to attract things into her existence. She knows how to get what she wants without really putting in the effort, or like, quote unquote, the Martian masculine energy. She's more into her feminine energy. So I feel like this is like a vortex, where the vortex just attracts everything to itself. This is very feminine energy, magnetizing energy. A lot of you are leaning into that, and you're realizing that you don't really have to put in so much effort like you did earlier. And it's time to just go within yourself and figuring out what you want your place to be in the relationship, or how you want the relationship to thrive. What else do we have for pile two? I'm seeing the strength card. So some of you may be forced to look at your demons, so to speak, like your shadow side in the relationship, especially because of all this turmoil that's been happening. The Eight of Swords, the Hangman, Three of Swords. So there's been a lot of heartbreak and betrayal in the relationship. So because of that, some of you may have to go through some kind of a metamorphosis yourself, where you need to look at your shadow side and see where you might have contributed to that in the relationship. But the strength card is great, because once you do that shadow work, you realize that there's a lot of things that you can get rewarded for when it comes to a relationship. It kind of sets you free. So I feel like a lot of you are in that phase where you're just going through this kind of um, upheaval internally, and it's for the greater good. Like, you're going to turn into a different version of yourself, a better version of yourself, and it's great. It's like a very cathartic phase that you're going through, pile two. So that's what I have for you, pile 2. If you like this reading, definitely give this a thumbs up. Your likes help my videos stay relevant in the YouTube algorithm. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, definitely send me an email and I'll get back to you soon. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye. Okay, pile 3, this is going to be your reading now. So let's look at what are the cards that we have. The first card that I'm getting for you, pile 3, is the Three of Swords. Again, I feel like a lot of you are going through a breakup or some kind of betrayal in a relationship right now. Maybe your partner cheated on you, maybe they lied to you about something, or there's some kind of betrayal involved, or they've been ghosting you or going no contact, but there's some kind of hurt that's been going on in the relationship for you, pile 3. What is this Three of Swords, pile 3? I'm seeing the World card. Now this may be a breakup, because I'm seeing the World card, and the World card is pretty much about permanent endings and a new chapter opening in your life. So your partner could have been one of the fixed signs. It could have been a Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius. Or either you could be one of these signs. It doesn't have to be sun sign. They could have moon in these signs, or they could have a lot of planets in these energies. But the World card is basically about ending one particular chapter and starting a new one. And I feel like this is what the relationship has been going through. I feel like some of you are going through a breakup right now, pile 3, and I do feel like there's not much of a chance for both of you to get back together, is what I'm sensing here, because the World card is pretty much permanent in a lot of ways. Now I'm seeing the Moon card as well. Some of you may still be confused, because the Moon card has to do with it's a very Neptunian energy, and it's also has to do with a lot of confusion and dilemma. So some of you may be having to figure out whether you really want to permanently break up with this person, or do you still want to get back with them. I don't think some of you are still ready to completely give up on this relationship. And the thing about the Moon card is, it's a question of choices. You have two choices in front of you, and it can both can be appealing, both can be confusing, which is why it is a very confusing card. But at the end of the day, if you trust your intuition, which is what the moon is about, it's about trusting your gut, trusting your intuition, then the answer is very clear. There's no doubt there. Intuition is never doubtful. It's the fear that makes you doubt things. Fear is doubtful. Intuition is very clear. It's a very clear, calm voice that tells you exactly what you want to do. So some of you may be thinking what to do in the relationship, pile 3. Some of you may be thinking if you want to really get back with this person, or if you want to even give them a second chance. So I still feel like some of you are not ready to let this go, pile 3. What else do we have? We have the Page of Swords. So either you or your partner may be reaching out, and because swords are about communication, there could be a little bit of a quarrel involved. Like it's not going to be a peaceful conversation when you both actually contact each other. And this could even have been your past energy, pile 3. This could have been just the both of you always arguing about things, always quarreling about things. It did. And the thing about this is, because it's page energy, the fights weren't even anything significant. It's not like a major fight, but it's just that there were too many. It was always like a daily argument that both of you would always have, and it was always about stirring up the pot, some kind of chaotic energy. It's just very chaotic energy, a lot of drama, a lot of turbulence. It wasn't really a peaceful relationship to begin with, because Page of Swords is like that. It's the energy of very, like, it's just very chaotic energy, and it's very like turbulent. So I feel like both of you may have been through that phase quite a lot, which is why this relationship is sort of going through this tower moment, if you will, like the World card and the Three of Swords. What else do we have? We have the Hanged Man. So yeah, some of you, like I said, with the Moon card turning up and the Hanged Man turning up, both of these are very Pisces cards. So some of you may still have the soft corner for this person. You don't want to really let this person go. Some of you may like be still doubtful about the intentions of the other person. Like, you don't feel like this relationship is meant to end. You may be trying to be more empathetic, because Pisces is a very empathetic, almost selfless sign, and you may be looking at the relationship through your partner's eyes, or trying to see things from their perspective, so that if you do decide to walk away, that you put in everything before you did. Like, you don't have an ounce of doubt after you leave the person that you didn't put in your all, or you didn't do everything to make the relationship work. So I feel like this is that kind of energy where you're just trying to see the perspective of the other person before you just call it quits and say that, we are done. What else do we have for pile 3? I'm seeing the Six of Pentacles. So I feel like this is you, pile 3. I feel like a lot of you may have given too much in the relationship, because the thing about the Six of Pentacles is it's a very unbalanced energy. It's about giving too much and not being uh, cautious of the fact that you could get drained in the process. So some of you may have been giving a lot in the relationship, doing a lot in the relationship, always being the one to maybe initiate things, initiate contact, make plans, things like that. And maybe you didn't get much in return. Like maybe you didn't see too much of reciprocation in the relationship. So again, Six of Pentacles is very much about staying in balance and making sure that yes, it's good to be generous, or give of your time and energy in a relationship, but at the same time you need to make sure that you're getting it back. You need to make sure that it's reciprocated, the other person is also doing the same things for you. And some of you may not be doing that. Like I feel like some of you may have kind of immersed yourself so much in the relationship that you've kind of forgotten to keep tabs on that, or keep tabs on the fact that is your partner even reciprocating what you are doing for the relationship. So I feel like that's what's been going on here. Maybe a lot of you are very selfless, very giving in the relationship. What else do we have for pile 3? So I'm seeing the Page of Pentacles. So again, this person may be trying to reach out to you with some kind of message. It's not going to be a grand gesture. It's a page energy, but they're definitely going to want to try to reach out to you and try to make things work. But I don't think you're very happy with their contact or whatever they have to say, because it's not very substantial. It's not really coming from an authentic place. They're not really trying to make any amends in the relationship. It's probably just a very light apology. They may not even be apologizing at this point. It just seems very superficial, or just very one-sided. This whole relationship seems very one-sided. What else am I seeing here? I'm seeing the Tower card for you, pile 3. So yeah, I feel like this relationship is going through a tower moment. I feel like a lot of you may be finally deciding to end this chapter once and for all. Now, the thing about the Tower card is it doesn't always have to be a permanent ending. Like sometimes it's just a breakup in the relationship to make things new again. Like sometimes you have to dismantle something to reassemble it in a different way, if that makes sense. But because the World card also came up in your reading, pile 3, I feel like some of you may be really deciding to throw in the towel and just call it quits for good. I don't think a lot of you are ready to go back to the relationship. Some of you, like I said, may be still interested, maybe still willing to give the person a chance, because you still have a soft corner for them. You still want to make this work. It's a Piscean energy, the dreamy energy. You want to see the best in people, you want to see the best in the relationship. But again, a lot of you are being very real about things and figuring out that this is not for you, it's not really working out, and it's just causing you more heartache and pain than necessary. So I feel like a lot of you are deciding to cut the cords and move on. So that's what I have for you, pile 3. If you like this reading, definitely give it a thumbs up. Your likes help my videos stay relevant in the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, and if you'd like to book a reading with me, definitely drop me a message and email, and I'll get back to you soon. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.